Hi, I'm Scoot. It has been all over the national news since Friday. A TV news anchor and a TV personality was killed. She was doing a report on a stunt pilot in New Orleans, and the plane crashed, killing her and the pilot. But why were so many people touched by this? This is the Scoot on the Air YouTube channel. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. It's free. And we'll give you an alert every time we do something. And every day this is a conversation about one or two or three of the top stories of the day. And you get so much jaded, biased news from everywhere that I like to try to give you maybe something else to use if you're having a conversation with somebody about one of the debates we talk about. I mean, today's topic is not really that controversial, but it's an interesting thing that maybe you haven't thought of, and that's also something we try to do every day here on the Scoot on the Air YouTube channel, also on our website scootontheair.com. But if you become a subscriber, we'll let you know when we have something new coming up. And we try to talk about some of the things that maybe you feel but don't always know how to express. This is the Daily Hit on the Scoot on the Air YouTube channel, also scootontheair.com. Also post this on Facebook. So late Friday, Nancy Parker, who is a television anchor and journalist here in the New Orleans area, she was killed. And the outpouring of love for her has been so amazing that it bears mentioning. Why did this news anchor draw so much attention after her death? It's really because of how we feel, without realizing it, how we feel about the TV personalities that we let into our homes, the TV personalities that become part of our daily routine in the morning, in the evening. It's also a tribute to the radio personalities that you allow into your private life. And in many cases, you're viewing or listening, you're by yourself. And sometimes it's just you and the person on the radio. Sometimes it's just you and the people on television. Before I get to that, let's talk about the tragic accident. This was an interesting story on a guy who billed himself, Frederick Augustus. He's a local pilot. He billed himself as the only civilian black stunt pilot in the country. He had also in the past had been a civil rights activist. He was very involved with trying to show young black kids that flying was something that might be possible for them, trying to bring that dream to life for them. And he was also very big into the anti-drug movement. So this was a good guy. This was a person who meant a lot to the community. So he takes off from Lakefront Airport in New Orleans, and upon takeoff, there's engine trouble. And he reports to the tower, and the tower gives him clearance to, go back around. You don't turn around and land on the runway that you just took off from. You go around and you land in the same direction where you took off because of the wind. Now, we don't know what happened, but witnesses say that they heard the plane having engine trouble. Now, this is a Pitt special. This is a bi-wing stunt plane. Now, bi-wing stunt planes, they're known for their very, very sharp sensitivity to any kind of movement on the stick, to maneuver all the things that are maneuvered during a stunt show. Also, the airfoil on the wings, the airfoil is what creates lift. This was the one thing the Wright brothers discovered in 1903. People had tried flying machines and everything, but the Wright brothers discovered this airfoil, which creates high pressure on the lower part of the wing and low pressure on the top of the part of the wing because of the way it's shaped. And so that creates the lift. Well, in a stunt plane, there's really not going to be much of an airfoil. So maybe one of the problems was, planes, if you lose power and you're at altitude, you can glide to a landing, sometimes safe, sometimes not so safe. But I'm thinking that maybe a stunt plane doesn't have the ability because of the size of the airfoil and the weight. I could be wrong, but I don't think a stunt plane has the ability to glide. So I don't know whether that was a contributing factor or not. But it was a tragic, tragic accident. In fact, the station that she worked for was Fox 8 News in New Orleans. And I knew that there had been a plane crash. And from a source, I knew that one of those killed was journalist Nancy Parker. I turned on Fox 8 at 5 o'clock to watch the news Friday afternoon. And they were still mentioning that there had been a plane crash and 2 people were killed. But they did not identify her. But I could tell they knew. I mean, if I knew, they had to know it was their colleague and their friend, Nancy Parker. And they did such a phenomenal job. Lee Zurich and Kim Holden were the anchors. Every story they read in what seemed to be a very solemn way. They couldn't say anything, but they went through their job of doing the news, knowing that their colleague and friend, Nancy Parker, was killed in that plane crash. And because they were waiting for notifying family, they weren't able to say who it was. But that had to be a tough job. Sometimes you just have to do your job, and they did their job. The way local television stations here, who are in steep competition with each other, the way local televisions covered this story, it was one community coming together. And other TV stations like WWL TV, Channel 4, they did long visual exposés on Nancy Parker, who worked for the competitor. She had won Emmy Awards. She was a very special person in terms of her ability to tell stories. She was a mother. She was very passionate about people and the stories she told. And she just had this ability. Some people are just on TV. Nancy Parker had the personality and the on-air presence to make you feel like she was talking to you. And she brought you in. And her definite journalistic instincts did not shroud her compassion for people. And so, yes, she was a special person. And she just made people feel friendly and comfortable. But this is a reminder, once in a while we hear, I don't know where you are right now, but wherever you are in the New Orleans area, this might not be a big story to you because, okay, New Orleans TV anchor dies. That's really sad. I'm sorry that happened. What's going on in our area? But I use this as an opportunity to talk about what TV personalities mean to us. And the same goes for radio personalities. They are part of our daily lives. And when you hear about a TV anchor dying, like when we hear about a TV anchor being killed in the line of duty, doing their job, and sometimes they do dangerous things. When we hear about a journalist, anchor, reporter dying while they do their job in another city, we think that's really sad. But if you're in that city, chances are that's a big, big loss for you. And so that's what we learn from this. The outpouring of love and emotion has been extraordinary, not just from individuals, but again, from the television stations that competed with Fox 8 in New Orleans. Nancy Parker was special. And chances are there's somebody in your market, if you're not in this market, that is very special. And maybe we don't always appreciate how special those people are in our lives until we lose them. So think about those people on television, radio, the people that you allow to be part of your personal, private lives every day, they become part of you. And you didn't know them personally. You may never have met them, but they meant something to you. And their loss is a significant loss for you. So think about that as you consider your relationship with people on television and people on the radio.
Sorry, I'm not sure I
And
understand.
yeah, well, I'm not sure I understand that either. Don't know why that happened. Hey, I'm doing this live while it's happening. So the first time I met Nancy Parker, she was so excited to tell me that she was a regular listener to my radio talk show on WWL. And at that moment, I thought, I have so much respect for her that if Nancy Parker listens to my show daily, then I'm doing something right. You can join me on Facebook. It's Scoot on the Air. You can join me on Instagram, Scoot on the Air. And this is the Scoot on the Air YouTube channel. And you may be watching this on the website, scootontheair.com. So every day we bring you fresh new content, and you can always comment on it. And subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done that. Join me on Facebook, and also join me on Instagram. It's Scoot on the Air, SOTA, Scoot on the Air. And you can join me on my radio show on WWLAMFMN.com. If you don't have the app yet, download the app radio.com. And then just type in WWL, and I'm there. I'm on 1 to 4 every afternoon. That's New Orleans time. And I guess that's it. Yeah, so just join me in the afternoon, 1 to 4. On WWLAMFMN.com. Oh, you can also just go to our website, WWL.com, and stream the show through there. Have a great day.